Folks, today I want to talk to you about a clone trooper called Captain Dyne, and the tragic and scary way that he ended up going out. It takes us through the mind of a clone trooper, as everything that he was fighting for collapses in front of his eyes. I know that doesn't sound very fun, but we're going to read a passage from the book Labyrinth of Evil in just a second. For context, Dyne is investigating the industrial sector of Coruscant, near the secret lair of Darth Sidious, where they think the Sith Lord might be hiding out. Basically, he's looking for that lair, when he stumbles upon a small separatist hideout, and this is going on at the same time as the invasion of Coruscant in Revenge of the Sith. So Palpatine has to get into position, right? But what if he's in this base? The clone trooper might see him. Alright, let's get right into it. Captain Dyne stepped cautiously from the platform that had dropped his entire team into the unexplored depths of 500 Republica. Here, where no water dripped, no insects constructed hives, no conduit worms nursed on electrical currents. Strangely, however, the air was stirred by a faint and fresh breeze. Dyne took a breath to steady his nerves. He was trained for combat, but he had spent so many of the past few years doing routine intelligence work that his once sharp reflexes were shot. Commanding the hovering probe droids to go to stasis mode, he deactivated the handheld processor and hooked it to his belt. Drawing his Mersone blaster from its holster, he hefted it, then thumbed off the stun setting switch. Ahead of him, ghost-like in the dismal light, the commando troopers were moving toward the thick door at the end of the hull, keeping close to the walls, weapons raised. Valiant held the point, with the squad's explosives expert close behind, a thermal detonator in hand. Dyne stepped between the powered-down pair of probe droids, TC-16, the droid, following in his footsteps. They hadn't advanced 3 meters down the corridor when Dyne's ears pricked up at the sound of gurgled voices. He could sense TC-16 come to a sudden halt behind him. "Why, someone is speaking Geonosian," the protocol droid started to say. Whirling around, Dyne found himself staring down the wide muzzles of 2 organic-looking sonic weapons, grasped in the thick-fingered hands of 2 Geonosian soldiers, barely visible in the shadows. Their wings angled down toward the corridor's grimy floor. The next few moments unfurled in silent, slow motion. Dyne understood that it wasn't his life flashing before his eyes, but his death. He saw the commandos drop in their tracks, as if blown over by a gale force wind. He watched Valiant and the explosives expert leave the floor and hurtle towards the door. He observed a storm of probe droid parts whirl past him. He felt himself go airborne and crash into the wall, and his insides turned spongy. It was possible, in that eternal moment of silence, that the troopers had reacted quickly enough to get off a few bolts, because when Dyne looked to his right, along the way he had come, there were no signs of the Geonosians, or, for that matter, TC-16. Then again, for all he knew, he had lapsed into unconsciousness for an undetermined amount of time. He was vaguely aware of being slumped against the wall, in a position that didn't come naturally to a human being. It was as if every bone in his body had been made pliant. Soundlessly, the distant door opened inward, and light flooded into the corridor. The light was either red, or tinted so by the blood that was filling his ruptured eyeballs. Still set on slow motion, the immediate world came in and out of focus. What remained of his vision registered a room with blinking equipment, screens filled with scrolling data, a holoprojector table, above which drifted a Trade Federation battleship, halved and in flames. 2 machine intelligences emerged from the room, their slender, tubular bodies identifying them as assassin droids. Behind them walked a human of medium height and build, who stepped nonchalantly over Valiant's grotesquely twisted body. His liquefying brain notwithstanding, Dyne found a moment to be astonished, because he recognized this man instantly. Palpatine. Incredible, he thought. As the Jedi suspected, the Sith had managed to infiltrate the highest levels of the Republic government. The fact that the man had made no attempt to mask himself assured and comforted Dyne that he was about to die, and shortly after this realization, he did. And that's the quick story of Captain Dyne's death, an intelligence officer for the most part, who ended up dying at the hands of separatists hidden beneath Coruscant, and he got to see, more than really anyone else in the galaxy, Palpatine working as a separatist. Interesting, and it's Palpatine heading up to his office so Grievous can capture him. So, yeah. What'd you think? Please do subscribe, leave a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.